What I wanted to know was which of these thoughts or ideas was the actual best one. And there were no books, no blogs, no articles, no academic studies that could answer that question, so I did what any normal, rational person with an obsessive personality, a subscription to NHL Game Center, and a working knowledge of Excel spreadsheets would do. I spent 2 years trying to solve the answer myself. 2 years, 2 seasons, 900 goals, a whole lot of data entry, and far too many sleepless nights spent staring at a computer screen trying to solve this mystery. And while I never did find the best way to score goals, I did find the best time. Because one of the things that I tracked was time spent in zone, how long it took for that puck to go from across the blue line to into the net. And in 2012, that average time was about 12 seconds, which isn't important right now. What is a little bit more important was that when I filtered those goals by time, I found that 63% of all the goals that I tracked were in the net within the first 10 seconds. And while that's not the big key takeaway right now, that was the spark. That was the inspiration that would lead me quite literally down a decade-long rabbit hole of tracking, studying, honing, fine-tuning, until I could boil goal scoring down into one neat sentence. The typical goal in hockey is scored within the first 10 seconds of an attack opportunity. I'm going to say that again. The typical goal in hockey is scored within the first 10 seconds of an attack opportunity. What is that? Well, if you were to take any goal scored at any level of hockey and you rewind it back, the scoring sequence always comes back to one of 7 situations: controlled entry, chipping the puck into the zone, dumping the puck into the zone, winning an offensive zone faceoff, creating an in-zone turnover, counterattacking off of a neutral zone turnover, or winning a 50-50 puck. You see one of those 7 situations, count to 10, because if the puck hasn't gone in by then, the odds are it's probably not going to. So now I've got a theory. I've got E equals MC squared for hockey as far as I'm concerned, but what I needed was better, cleaner data. So I decided I'm going to track that season's playoffs. And in the 2021-22 playoffs, there were 521 goals scored, not including penalty shots, not including empty nets. And of those goals, the average time to score was 11 seconds. Not 10, but stay with me. Because when I filtered those goals by time, I found that 65% of all of those goals were in the net within the first 10 seconds. And right now I've talked about each goal, every goal, all goals. What about even strength? Well, at even strength, there were 375 goals scored that season, and 74% of them were in the net within the first 10 seconds. 3 out of every 4 even strength goals was scored within the first 10 seconds of an attack opportunity. And that average time, that dropped from 11 seconds down to 8 at even strength. That's the scoring breakdown for that season, the playoffs. And you can see the first 5 seconds is where most of the goals were scored, big drop off to the 10-second mark, and then a steady decline from there. The longer you hold the puck in the offensive zone, the less likely you actually are to score. And it doesn't matter what league that I tracked this for: NHL, NCAA Women's, ACHA, high school hockey in Columbus, Ohio, the German Women's Professional League. That trend line tracks across all of them. So what does this actually look like in a game? Well, this is the World Cup of Hockey from a few years ago. McDavid's going to get this puck, crosses the blue line at 1940. So he's in, he's going to get a shot. Austin Matthews is ridiculous. And right here, if you look, all 6 players from Team Sweden are staring at Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews is staring at that beautiful lane to a wide open Morgan Riley. He's going to make this pass. Front of the net, you've got a great box out, but the other 5 Team Sweden players are looking at Morgan Riley, who is not trying to sneak in closer, not trying to put himself in better position. This puck's headed right back down on the net, and nobody picks up Austin Matthews. And 9 seconds after McDavid crossed that blue line, that puck's in the back of the net.